Okay, now, I already shot this once. And I got about almost 6 minutes in and I realized that I hadn't cleared any of my other videos that I've shot in like the last 7. So, almost ran out of memory on this phone already because I'm a picture hoarder and I refuse to get rid of any meme that I like. I may need that one day. Anyway, so as you're going to know from the caption, this is going to be on taxing religious buildings in America. Now, while I do not identify with the Christian faith, this isn't something the stuff that I looked up to find out about this shit. It wasn't just how much do Christian churches make. This is religious facilities as a whole in America. Now, anyway, turns out the math all adds up really fucking simple in this. So this made my life very easy, and I didn't have to break out a calculator or go through this and find another video of someone explaining it to me, so I can make a video on it. Now, taxing churches in America. I'm doing this because I saw a meme last night, had a very small, respectful argument on Facebook. One of the few respectful ones that I have on Facebook. It's always nice when you get them though, right? Anyway, I saw a meme and it said 2013, 83.5 billion money in taxes, what we could have made off taxing churches, and this is how much we made off welfare, and it was like, this is how much we lost due to paying welfare, food stamps, things like that. And that was around 73 billion. And it's like, so we could pay that and make a really big dent in the homeless population. Well, of course, you shouldn't get all your fucking your news from memes and your facts. So I went and I looked. I went at three different websites. One for the welfare, I just went to the government thing or whatever. I think it was a government. I don't know. I probably shouldn't have said government because I'm pretty sure it wasn't. It looked very official. It looked like a good fucking setup site. So it looked too good to be bullshit, so I'm gonna go ahead and buy it. I'm gonna buy it. But pretty much how much tax we could get off church, the income from churches yearly is genuinely around 100 billion. Now to say that we would tax 83.5 off them would be fucking insane. That's bullshit. That is bullshit. You're looking somewhere more around 15 to 30%. Taxing 83% of something is fucking ludicrous. And like the site explained, is we just don't fucking do that in America. But still, that's 15 to 30 billion dollars a year. And I looked up average money spent on welfare, and it's around 100 billion too. So while it would not knock it out, that is still, if the government decided to put the funds towards that, and if we do not the 15, a little on the more pricey range, that's still a quarter knocked out, or that's still a dent taken out of our military budget, or that's better schools for our kids. That's still a dent. Now, another thing that people were saying is, yeah, well, that means some buildings would go closed. Some churches would have to go bankrupt. Well, yeah. I mean, it wouldn't make sense for me to, I'm not Muslim, but it wouldn't make sense for me to open a mosque in Arkansas when we have maybe 6 Muslims. That would be bad. Just like, say, opening a gas station in a Mormon community, I'm probably not going to make any money and I'm probably going to go bankrupt. My business is going to close. That's common sense. If you open a church building with only 15, 30 followers, probably not gonna be making a whole lot of money. Probably gonna have to be putting, if you're a pastor or you own the building, probably gonna have to be putting some of your own money in to help pay the lights. Maybe not. I wouldn't imagine churches have a whole lot of light bills. They're only open once or twice every week, so maybe not. Oh well. But yeah, so if I opened a gas station, no one would freak out if it went bankrupt. Oh well, fluke, my business failed. That's my thing with a church. Oh well. It happens. Businesses fail every day. Try again, pick up the pieces, do something else. I don't know. I feel like it's a good idea to tax churches. I don't see why we wouldn't. I mean, I know that we have religious freedoms in America, like we're the biggest with religion, apparently, but it doesn't make sense on why we don't tax churches to me. Solely based off that some might bankrupt. That's the only argument that people gave. There might be a more official argument that the government uses that I'm unaware of, that I didn't find. But because some might close, doesn't seem like a very good argument. That's like saying we're not going to tax gas stations. Well, since I'm already on gas stations, it's like saying we're not going to tax those because some might close. That just doesn't make sense to me. Oh, let's say they only tax like 20%. That's $20 billion a year. Now, I know as just regular everyday people, $20 billion is a shit ton to us, but on a government scale, that's like kind of like, let's say you're saving up for something $1,000, that's like maybe 100, like 20 billion. But 20 billion is still a fraction, and it's, you know, it's it's not like it's a one, what am I trying to say? It's not like it's trying to say it's like it's 1/30th or anything like that. It's 1/10. I mean, that's significant. That's significant to me. Or that's a full quarter, like how we were talking about earlier, 100 billion and 20%. That's damn near a full quarter. That seems worth it. If I can tackle 20% by doing something really simple, that seems easy. Now, and some people also said last night how where a church is making money, churches don't sell anything, this and that. You know, people didn't know that, but for the most part, what people say, I think the way you pronounce it, you can make fun of me if you want, but I'm probably going to pronounce it wrong because I've read it and I haven't heard it. But you're supposed to tithe or tithe or whatever, like 15% of your annual income to your church. Said the Romans way back in the day, and a lot of people still follow that, or they still give annually to their church. Now, if you've ever been to a church, especially in the South, you've seen that collection plate come around, and that son of a bitch gets full by the end. Now, imagine filling that up 4 times a Sunday, and they're only passing around a couple different plates. And a lot of the churches I've been to aren't really big churches. In churches I went with my family, they're only, I think tops I've been in a church is maybe 60 people, and they filled up about 3 fucking plates full of cash. Now that church that lives out here behind here, the Pentecostal church, I'm gonna assume they have a lot of people since they built a fucking lighthouse and they have their own school ran over there. They've got a lot of shit and that, and the pastor lives in a fucking mansion with a fleet of cars and a castle in the backyard for his kids to play in. So I'm gonna assume that they're making quite a bunch of money, and there's a very big, if there's enough kids to actually make it worthwhile to start up a school, I'm gonna guess there's a lot of Pentecostals, and I'm gonna guess they're filling up their fucking more than 3 plates. There's more than 60 people in that church. And then, you know, you see the mega churches, and those are hundreds of people. Hundreds of fucking people. I can't think of a good reason. Like, I literally fucking can't. Like, trying to just look at it from everything. I mean, besides, you know, I'm not necessarily a member of a very large community in my religion. My religion doesn't have a large community anywhere in the United States. Anywhere. Really anywhere in the world. It's not very followed. I'm not a Satanist. That actually has a bigger following here than mine. But I guess if you wanted to look at it like, oh, well, definitely one of my churches wouldn't be able to maintain itself, and I would be misrepresented. Now, that's not a big deal to me since I've gone just about the entirety of my religion teaching myself, since there's a lack of people. So, I mean, that doesn't affect me. I don't feel misrepresented. I don't feel like there's anything to represent. I live in a country where we don't run our laws based on religion, so I don't know what there is to represent. I mean, we have a little festival every year in Arkansas. Maybe 20 people show up. and plus a few bands and people that just want to sell stuff. You know, it's not a... Besides that, besides someone maybe being butthurt over that, I can't think of a good reason. Anyway, I've pretty much talked all that I can talk on this without just starting to pull stuff out of my ass. So, like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, share in the comments if you know anything that I don't know, or if you agree with me. Like, I'm actually really curious now on why we don't tax churches. I'm gonna have to look that up on what the actual reason is. I'm actually kind of pissed that I did this video, and I'm not gonna reshoot it because I've already done this for like 16 minutes, and I'm not gonna reshoot it just to get one more point in on, oh, but this is why we don't. But yeah, share with me how you feel, and tell your friends, and as always, stay lit.